Hello and welcome to a Blaseball Statistical History, a look at the Dallas Stakes development across the expansion era. The Stakes did fairly well in the discipline era, making it into a lot of postseasons. They enter the expansion era with a longer lineup, which has a couple of big hitters, but also some weaker parts, whilst the rotation is unimpressive overall. The teams start the era poorly, finishing 5th of their division and 19th overall. The weather is a mixed bag, seeing both gains and losses. Blood rain is more positive, and only 3 days are spent elsewhere. However, they do experience 2 allergic peanut reactions. In more hopeful news, there are 15 party time boosts. In the election, the team vote to alternate one player and infuse another. Party time has really benefited the team, and the infusion now gives the rotation a strong opener. The Stakes see an immediate boost in performance, gaining 10 positions in the league and moving up to 2nd in their division. They just miss out on the postseason, as the Millennials qualify instead due to divine favour. It is a very quiet season. The only events they see are Sun 2 and Black Hole, which just tips into being more negative than positive. They use their wills to make a change to the lineup and infuse another batter, but the Jazz hands also want to make a player trade. The lineup has again been made stronger, although there is one notable weakness. Season 14 is another decent showing for the team, as they hold their position in the league. Players spend a total of 68 days elsewhere, and there is one party. In the election, they choose to make a swap in rotation and infuse a pitcher. The rotation now has plenty of power in it to match the new improved lineup. The Stakes hold steady performance-wise. They miss out on the postseason due to divine favour again, seeing the Breath Mints qualify instead. Black Hole weather activates only in their favour. 2 players are observed but survive it. There is a positive blood rain and also a consumer attack. Trips to elsewhere have massively decreased, and the team get 5 parties. They use their wills to move their weakest batter to the shadows, and to swap players with the Moist Talkers. They also win their first blessing of the era, as one player gains the High Pressure mod for the next season. Having taken Polka Dot Patterson from the Moist Talkers, the rotation is a force to be reckoned with, and the lineup is now consistently strong across the board. And the Stakes make the most of this, finishing top of the league as they head into the postseason, where they win their first championship. During the season, the weather is very positive for them. One player spends some time elsewhere, and there are 2 consumer attacks, one of which is defended against. The lineup is reverbed, and 2 more players are uneventfully observed. There is one positive blood rain, but the team also attract Forrest Best, who is batted in by Patel Beyonce. In the election, the team transfuse one of their pitchers and also alternate Polka Dot Patterson, who is then taken by the Mechanics. However, they also gain a blood type, which gives the team the Power Charge mod, meaning any batter who hits a triple may then become overperforming for the rest of the game. The swap with the Mechanics leaves the rotation in a good place, and the lineup remains much the same. There is a minor dip in performance as the Stakes slip to 3rd in the league, but they head into another postseason, where they are knocked out in the division series by the Pies. They feature in the seasonal reading, which sees Orville Manco gain the force field of observation. There is a positive black hole, but a negative blood rain. The whole team gets reverbed, and there are 3 consumer attacks, 2 of which are defended against. Trips to elsewhere are on the rise, with 4 players heading off, and the team also experience an incineration. The team use their wills to bring recently attracted Forrest Best onto the team from the shadows, and also move a player from rotation to lineup. They win another blessing, which recruits Baldwin Breadwinner from the Fridays. Forrest Best adds a huge amount of power to the rotation. Baldwin Breadwinner, less so. The team continue their downward trend, ending at 11th overall and 3rd in their division. They gain 1 win from Sun 2, but the whole team is reverbed once again. There is one negative and one positive blood rain, and a feedback with the lovers. One player takes a short trip elsewhere, and there are 6 consumer attacks, but all are defended against. The stakes get 3 gifts from their friends, which boosts some players' souls, makes the team late to the party, and one player gains an item. In the election, they move a player to their shadows and make a trade with the lift. The reverb may actually be a benefit for the team, as it's evened out the lineup. The stakes get comfortable in the mid-division. They join the rest of the league in the seasonal reading, which sees Frankie and Carnot become a seeker. The weather goes mostly against them, but it's an otherwise quiet season. There are 2 trips to elsewhere and also 5 parties. They gain 2 gifts, becoming life of the party and granting a player an item. In the election, they make a change to the rotation and take Jessica Telephone from the lift. They win 2 blessings, reordering the lineup and altering a player's unthwackability. They are also affected by 2 other teams, as both the lift and the Georges want to trade players. The foreshadow has boosted the rotation, and the whole team looks very powerful. And this translates to performance, as the stakes move back to the top. They head into another postseason, making it to the League Series before being knocked out by the mechanics. During the season, they gain plenty of wins from the weather. There is 1 negative and 1 positive blood rain, alongside 2 days spelt elsewhere and an allergic peanut reaction. 7 consumer attacks are mostly defended against, and in the late season the team get 4 gifts. This means the gain of 2 items, the team become late to the party, and 1 player becomes ambitious. At election time, wills allow the stakes to make a change to the lineup and infuse a shadows player. They are also targeted a fair few times. The Magic steal Orville Manco's force field of observation, and the lift swap a player. But the mechanics really game the system, as they make a player swap, but then reclaim the player they sent in return by moving them. This leaves the team with a shorter rotation, which has no weak members, whilst the lineup is a mix. And the stakes struggle in season 21, dropping down to 19th in the league. This qualifies them for the underbracket, where they are knocked out in the division series by the Breath Mints. The weather is mostly kind, as they gain 12 wins from Sun 30 and Black Hole. Interest in elsewhere increases with 4 players taking a trip. There are more consumer attacks, including 1 which results in the redaction of Forest Best. But in positive news, Blood Rain grants a boost, and there are 16 parties. 3 more gifts make the team early to the party, give them a replica of Liquid Friend, who also gains an item. Their wills give them a player swap with the Crabs and infuse a Shadows player, but they also see the Garages steal an item from one of their players. With the redaction, the team is shorter again, but slightly more consistent, even with 1 player starting the season elsewhere. The stakes hold steady near the bottom of the league, qualifying for another underbracket, where they are once again eliminated in the division series, this time by the Fridays. Their missing player returns on day 1 of the season. Another becomes unstable but survives it. They gain 8 wins from the 2 Suns. Voicemail can't decide whether Holden Stanton or Barry Burkhard should be playing, swapping them several times. The team also sees change as Baldwin Breadwinner gains the 5th base and roams away to the Magic with it. But there are also 5 parties. 2 gifts give the stakes replicas of the dynamic duo. In the election, they make a player trade with the Shoe Thieves and infuse the same Shadows player for the 3rd time. They also see a player stolen by the lift. Blessings see them send a Shadows player to the Garages, and 2 players become a subtractor and skipping. The team look like a threat on the surface, but will that show in their performance? The answer is not really, as whilst they do move up to 14th in the league, that is their total. Sun 30 grants 10 wins to the team. both fax machine and voicemail make several changes to the active team, and one player becomes unstable, but sees no consequences for that. The stakes both gain and lose a Shadows player due to the Thieves Guild, and there is a negative blood rain, which is countered by one party. Just 2 gifts this time, but the team become early to the party and see a player gain an item. In the election, the team choose the roamless party favour and join the rest of the league in becoming under review. They win a blessing, giving Holden Stanton a skateboard, but they also sacrifice a Shadows player to the tacos. Entering the final season of the era, the stakes have a team which is full of power, but not always able to use it. However, the stakes benefit from the chaos, as they finish 4th of the 24 ILB teams and 3rd in their new division of the Vault, helped on their way by 6 wins from Sun 30. There is change to be seen, as Fax Machine alters the rotation and there's a night shift. 3 players are observed and 2 get redacted, but the one player who is unstable survives it. There is a positive blood rain and 4 consumer attacks, 3 of which are defended. During the season, the stakes first head to the hall, taking part in the attempt to incinerate the coin, but decide to end the era in the vault. In the expansion era, the stakes faced 1 incineration, 1 feedback, and 3 reverbs, the most of any team in Mild High, alongside 48 parties. They also have 3 allergic peanut reactions, the most of their division. Blood Rain and Sun 2 both have 8 positive to 5 negative activations, whilst Black Hole favours the team both ways, as their 15 positive and 17 negative are both more than the rest of their division. There are no shellings, 3 instabilities, and 7 observations, which result in 3 redactions, the most of Mild High. They see 1 night shift, 8 voicemails, 5 fax machines, and they gain and lose 1 Shadows player through the Thieves Guild. There are 15 trips to elsewhere, with the longest stay being 68 days. They gain 32 wins from Sun 30, but face 27 consumer attacks. Their Arcana appeared in 2 seasonal readings. They get 16 gifts, the fewest in Mild High, are granted 22 wills, and win 6 blessings. They qualify for 3 postseasons, winning 1, but also missing out on several due to divine favour. They compete in 2 underbrackets. The stakes finish the era with a much shorter team, which does contain some serious power, but doesn't seem optimised. Thank you for joining me for another Blaxplanation. I'll be back with more Blaseball fun and facts soon, but until then, rejoice, play ball.